What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Drewski's Garage. I'm Drew. I just wanted to make a quick introductory video to talk about this project I'm about to get started on, tell you about the car, give you a little history on the car, and explain why I'm willing to do all this work to this car. Because I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments from people saying, dude, that's stupid. Why are you going to put all that work into that car when you could just buy this other car and it's basically the same thing? Which is true, but hopefully by the end of this video you'll understand my reasoning. So let's get into it. Alright, so the car we're going to be working on is my 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse GS. It's the non-turbo 420A front-wheel drive, just basic Eclipse. It started its life as an automatic. I later converted it to a manual, but whatever. I think I was 17 when I got this car. It was my first car I ever got, and I'm 35 now, so I've had it 19 years, something like that. I've had it a very long time. And when I first got it, it ran great for maybe a couple weeks, and then I started having issues with it, and we actually sent it back to the dealership. They said the transmission was out, so they replaced the transmission. I got it back, and then it ran good for a few more months and started having issues again. And back then I was not mechanically inclined. I had no experience with working on cars. I was just a kid. So really a lot of the stuff that I know today I attribute to this car because I had to teach myself stuff to be able to work on the car. It had issues for probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I could never figure it out, again, because I knew nothing about cars, nothing about diagnosing issues or what even to look at. So it just steadily got worse and worse until one day it just wouldn't start anymore. And then it was parked and hidden under a car cover forever. But I got the car, the time that I had the car was right when Fast and Furious was coming out and the whole import scene was blowing up and everybody was doing all this crazy stuff with their cars. So I was no different. I put a carbon fiber hood on it, full, I think it's called the Combat body kit. I had a big old wing on it, a big old loud exhaust on it. Intake, it was slammed to the ground. I painted the whole interior black and blue. I had street glow, just the whole Fast and Furious thing, which as I get older, I'm not a fan of anymore. So the car will be going all the way back to the factory look. It looks so much cleaner, so much nicer. It is a 95, so it's the 2GA. 95, 96 had one body style, and then 97 to 99 converted to the better looking, more aggressive style. So we'll be converting it to the 2GB, which is the 97 to 99. So the 2G Eclipse was a dream car of mine. I know a lot of people, their dream cars are Lamborghinis and Ferraris and whatever. Mine was always the 2G Eclipse. I first found the 2G Eclipse in the first Gran Turismo game on PlayStation 1. And for some reason that was my favorite car in the game. I don't know why. I knew nothing about the car. I just always liked the car. And then when I first saw the 2G Eclipse in real life, I fell in love with the car. So ever since then, I've always, loved the second generation Eclipse. In my opinion, it's one of the best looking cars out there. There's a lot of good looking cars. Yeah, everybody has their own opinion, but for me, the 2G Eclipse is one of the best cars out there. Best looking cars out there. Also the best car out there. So the build we're going to be starting with this car, it's not financially responsible. It's not going to be easy. It's not something I would suggest most people going out and doing. But it's my car. I love the car. So I'm willing to put myself through this for this car. So what are we going to be doing? Well, as I said, this car had the 420A non-turbo front-wheel drive engine, just the plain Jane. And when the car finally wouldn't start anymore, I started thinking about engine swaps. I was like, okay, well, this is a good opportunity since it's dead to swap out that 420A for the 4G63. And again, I was just a kid. I didn't know much, so you could probably imagine my disappointment when I finally found out that, oh, you can't just take the 4G63 from the turbo 2G Eclipse and put it in the non-turbo Eclipse. And if you don't know why, I'll try to explain it real quick. The 420A and the 4G63 are opposite of each other. So the 420A, the motor sits on the passenger side and the transmission is on the driver's side. The 4G63, the motor's on the driver's side and the transmission's on the passenger side. Well, the problem is on the engine side, the frame rail is perfectly straight. Just goes straight across. But on the transmission side, the frame rail comes up, it has a bump that goes over the transmission and then goes straight again. So if you swap the engines, now your transmission won't be able to go in there because that frame rail is straight. It needs that bump to go over the transmission. Now I have seen people do the swap, but what they have to do is chop the frame rails off of a turbo car, chop the frame rails off their non-turbo car, and swap the frame rails so that they could swap the motor. That's just way too much. So I was disappointed when I couldn't find out, when I figured out that you can't just drop the 4G63 into the 420A engine bay. So I was disappointed with that. Car sat, didn't even mess with it. And then in, I think it was 2002 or 2003, I was working at a Mitsubishi dealership, and this was right the time when the Evo 8 was released to America. I was at the dealership and we just got the delivery of our very first Evo 8. Everybody was out there checking it out, super sick. So I popped the hood, checked the engine, and the first thing that just caught my eye was that the Evo's 4G63, the motor sits on the passenger side just like the 420A. And so my head just started spinning. I was like, no way can this be possible. So, and this is no knock on DSM tuners, okay? I highly, highly recommend, if you're into DSMs, you should be on DSM tuners. There's so much knowledge on there. Any question you have, you can find an answer on there. Great people, a lot of knowledge. I highly suggest it. But you got to understand, the Evo was just released to America. A lot of people didn't know anything about it. So I took a picture of the engine bay, and then I went home, got on DSM tuners, posted the picture with the post that said, hey, guys, check it out. The Evo's 4G63 sits on the passenger side just like the 420A. Do you guys think that the Evo's 4G63 could be swapped into the non-turbo Eclipse? And of course, nobody really knew anything right then. The Evo was just released. So everybody said, nope, not possible, completely different chassis, not gonna work, blah, 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 blah. So that killed that dream. But then, just recently, I found Miguel DSM's channel, and the video I watched it a while back. Ever since I watched the video, this idea has just been burning in my head, and I finally decided I'm just gonna do it. But the video I watched is he was doing a walk around of his 2G DSM, and I believe it's a 99, the OZ Rally Edition. But he was doing a walk around, super clean Eclipse, really nice. And then he pops the hood, and he's got the Evo 8 4G63 sitting in his engine bay. And right at that moment, I had two emotions basically. I was super hyped. I was like, that's it. That's all the proof I needed. Now I know it's possible. Everybody told me that it wasn't possible, but I'm seeing it right here in Miguel's car. It's possible. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. And then my second emotion was I was pretty ticked off because I had this idea years and years ago. We're talking 2002, 2003, so I don't know, what, like 16 years ago? I don't know. I'm not good at math. So I could have been working on this whole time. The car's just been sitting under a cover for the past 19 years, not doing nothing. So, anyways, after seeing Miguel's video, it's got me fired up. I know it's possible. I know it can be done now. Miguel's got it going. I want to do it to mine. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be swapping in Evo 4G63 in there. We're also going to be converting it to all-wheel drive. And other than that, I've got a lot of ideas of things that I want to do with the car. And everything I'm going to be doing myself. There's a few things that I won't be doing myself that I can't do. Like mounting and balancing tires. I don't have tire machines, so I can't do that. If I did, I would do it myself. And also tuning. Once we get to the point where the car's running and driving, I need to get it tuned, and I have zero experience with tuning, like negative experience with tuning. And I don't want to, you can seriously mess up a car with a bad tune, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin the car, so I will be taking it somewhere to get tuned. But other than that, I'll be doing all the work myself. I'll be doing all the body work myself. I'll be doing the paint myself. I'll be doing everything myself. And kind of show you guys that it's not something common. There is no like walkthrough on this. There's no step-by-step you could follow in doing this kind of swap. But hopefully the videos will show you that you can do stuff yourself. You don't need to hire people to do a build for you. You don't need to get a crew in to do a build for you. You can do it yourself. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of money, but it can be done yourself. So yeah, this swap is not a common thing. Other than Miguel, I don't know who else has done it. So hopefully between Miguel's videos and my videos, there'll be a lot of information out there for anybody else that's thinking about doing this kind of swap. I do have to say Miguel's videos are really good. Very well put together. I'm sure my videos will not be even half as put together as well as Miguel's. But I plan on being more like step by step. This. Be very detailed in what you have to do so that somebody that's wanting to do this build can really just follow along. At least that's my plan. So that's the build. The first thing I think I want to get started on with it is probably the all-wheel drive swap. I think that'll be the easiest. I either need to find all the parts, because you need the gas tank, you need the subframe, you need the drive shaft, you need drive shaft brackets, the fuel tank wiring, all that stuff. I would like to find a parts car at GSX, and then the car will just have everything that I need. But GSXs aren't very easy to come by, so I don't think I'll be too lucky on that front. So I've actually been researching and looking for all the parts, and seeing where I can get everything from. And I'll start with the all-wheel drive swap because the engine is going to be by far the most expensive part of this build. I've been pricing Evo motors right now, and for just the motor, from the valve cover to oil pan, no transmission, no transfer case, just a plain motor, for what it costs, I could go buy a GSX. A low mileage, nice GSX whole car. So the engine's going to be the most expensive part. I'm not looking forward to bumping out that much money. But you know, you got to pay to play. Yeah. So we'll start at the back of the car. Basically, yeah, start at the back of the car, work towards the front, and get everything done. So either I'll find all the parts, you know, or I'll find a parts car. Hopefully, yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's going to be the build. I hope you guys are interested. I hope you'll follow along with the build, and I'll try to get these videos out consistently. I want to release a video every week, at least once a week. You know, right now I work a lot of hours. I work Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 hours every day. But I have the weekends off, so what I'll probably be doing is, working on the car on the weekend, doing all the editing and everything during the week, and then probably post the video at the end of the week, and then work on the car on the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting way ahead of myself. So I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Hope you're as excited about the build as I am, and I'll catch you on the next one.